Evo, ja se zahvaljujem. Mi imamo ugovoreni nadzor u implementaciji sustava e-zdravlja sa Fakultetom elektrotehnike i računarstva i oni su nam, ajmo reći, jedna sjena koja nas stalno proispituje da li smo dobro isplanirali i implementirali sukladno planu. A drugi dio pitanja bi ja nadovezal da li cijelo pitanje data quality, to znači sve podatke koje mi prikupljamo kao tako, da li su uistinu istiniti podaci ili su to, jer morate znati da svi naši podaci dolaze u sirovom obliku iz naših ustanova, naših partnera. Dosta stvari prihvatimo tako kako jesu prezentirane, ali dosta često isto tako znamo, pogotovo od kada je DTS sustav, hrvatski DRG, da imamo situacije da faktura, odnosno faktura i nalaz o liječenju pacijenta ne podudaraju jedni sa drugim. Prema tome, to je nešto što je nama fokus u narodnom razdoblju maksimalno na data quality i ispravnosti izvještavanja i to je nešto što će uveliko promijeniti i sliku kada se uspoređuje benchmarking između bolnice i bolnice, jer svi danas možete otići na www.cezik.hr, gore na samom vrhu imate sve vezano za DTS i onda ćete vidjeti po DTS izvješću po case mixu. Znači case mix, znači po težini određenih dijagnoza u određenim bolnicama, vidjet ćete da neke opće bolnice su se ugurale gore da imaju teže slučajeve nego u ukupnom zbroju nego kliničke bolnice. To baš najvjerojatnije ne odgovara istinitoj situaciji, prema tome ne može biti svaka katarakta, najteža katarakta da ima svaki pacijent glaukom, ne može svaki pacijent imati visoki tlak i svaki pacijent da ima dijabetes, to baš ne znamo sami da ne odgovara istini. Prema tome imamo izrazito dobre primjere, recimo klinička bolnica Sveti Duh po pitanju izvještavanja za konkretno kataraktu daje podatke koje su sukladne međunarodnoj incidenciji pojave bolesti i komorbiditeta. I to je nešto po čemu mi onda uspoređujemo i radimo benchmarking na sve ostalo. Ali, nažalost, moramo vršiti tu kontrolu, jako je ljudski intenzivna i nastojimo, sad razgovaramo sa matematičarima da nam rade web servise gdje će nam algoritme raditi u pozadini da taj ljudski faktor što više izbacimo iz svakodnevne upotrebe.
Hvala lijepo. Inače, gledao sam podatke od gospođe Moran. Kredibilnost nekih podataka iz Hrvatske što se mene tiče pod upitnikom. Joža, imaš minutu.
Yes, thank you very much. Question for Michael. I'm Josip Čulik, professor in pharmacology and clinical pharmacology. I remember one of the panel 10 years ago, you were also involved there, about pharmacoeconomics. There's no doubt that new drugs, new technology are nice model for evaluation, and sometimes, as you mentioned, NICE is waiting to include this to implement into the practice. Probably sometimes because there is not enough budget for that. We in Croatia, we have the system that our health authorities are using budget impact analysis, but only for budget that is spending for drugs. So of course, if there are some old drugs that is spending in the system, there is no enough room for the new technology, and this is headache probably for our decision makers. Can you just tell me, because 10 years ago you were quite you were always pronouncing the need for evaluation of old technologies, old drugs. And you were also pronouncing that cost-benefit analysis is a very useful tool. Can you just tell us some best practice in your experience when this evaluation was useful in erasing old drugs and making rooms for new drugs?
I can think of an example of some work we did in Hungary, because there were a lot of drugs in Hungary from the old system, and many thousands of them, and there was quite a detailed review to get rid of a lot of drugs that had no evidence of therapeutic effectiveness. So that's quite a dramatic example. But within the context of the United Kingdom, one thing that NICE has always noticed is that, of course, to bring new things in, you have to get some old things out. And the main mechanism they've been using for that is for developing best practice clinical guidelines in broad areas of medicine based on both clinical effectiveness and cost effectiveness. Because within the context of a guideline within, say, a whole clinical field, such as, let's say, schizophrenia, you can manage the entry of the new things and at the same time discuss some practices that really, although they've been used for a long time, are not very effective. So one answer to your question is not to think just about every single new technology, but also to review practice across a broad area of medicine. And if you go on the NICE website, there are quite a few examples that they give there whereby they've managed some disinvestment within a clinical field alongside the introduction of new technologies. So I think your question is well taken, that we're all living within a restricted budget. So to pay for the new innovations, we have to think about revising our existing practices to make them more efficient and perhaps have some disinvestment of things that are not very effective. So I'd encourage you to look at some of the NICE clinical practice guidelines.
Okay, this is excellent for the last sentence of this session. Starving is not good method for obesity control. So we are going to have a lunch. And počinjemo u 3 sata na istom mjestu, ovih pol sata ćemo pomaknuti. Hvala vam lijepo.
It was excellent.